Hello and welcome to Roma Loves Yoga. Today we'll be doing a flow that is suitable for all levels. So we're going to start lying down in Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring your soles of your feet to touch and let the knees fall out wide. Bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And just begin to breathe. Take a moment here to breathe in calm and to breathe out stress. As you inhale deeply, you feel the belly rise underneath the hand. And as you breathe out, you feel it relax. Continue to breathe in calmness and allow the tension to flow away with your exhalation. Allow the mind to stop racing. Notice the thoughts that are running through the brain and just acknowledge them and process them without any judgment. Just engage the abdomen now so you can bring the knees back towards each other. Bring the soles of the feet into the mat and leave the feet so that they're parallel, quite close to the buttocks. Place the hands down behind you and make sure the neck remains still in this pose. Engaging the abs, tucking the pelvis under, push the bottom up towards the ceiling into a bridge pose. Push the knees forwards rather than outwards to make sure they're not splaying here. And just breathe into that belly breath once more. On your next exhalation, slowly allow the spine from top to bottom to peel back down into the mat. Tucking the knees in towards the body, just interlace the fingers around them for full wind pose. Allow the feet to relax here. Take the hands out wide so they're in a T shape, and then engaging the core, just allow the knees to fall to the left hand side. That right shoulder might come away from the floor. That's okay. With each breath, just try to relax the big muscles, the thighs and the calves. And then with the next breath, allow that relaxation to make its way into the toes. Relaxing the shoulders and allow that relaxation to carry into the face. Breathing into the right hand side of the body here. And then on your next inhalation, using your core to bring the knees back up to center. And as you exhale, allow them to fall to the right hand side, allowing that left shoulder to peel away from the mat if it needs to. And the same on this side, using that breath to first relax those big muscles, the thighs, the calves. Secondly, traveling into the toes, making its way to the shoulders, and then finally into the face. Just bring yourself now back to center using the core and take a full body stretch here, pointing the toes and pointing into the fingertips. And then just rolling onto one side to just gently bring yourself up to a seated position. Come up into your toes now, and we're going to curl up into a tiny ball. Tuck the chin in and use the hands just to steady you, but make yourself feel nice and cozy. And then on your next inhalation, come into a halfway lift. Slide the hands up the shins. Make sure the spine is nice and long, those shoulders are rolling open. And then just pause here and just move the weight maybe 1 inch further into the balls of the feet, so you really feel that stretch down the backs of the legs. Gentle bend in the knee here so that you create that tension down the backs of the legs rather than hanging out in the knee joints. On your next exhalation, come into a forward fold. Allow that head to be heavy. And then as you inhale, taking the arms wide, bringing yourself all the way up to mountain, hands stretching to the sky. And then exhale, bring them down to heart center. So let's get into a little bit of a moving meditation now. Floating the hands up on an inhale. Exhale, coming down into your forward fold. Inhale, curling yourself back into the ball, squeezing tight and taking an exhale here. Inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, come into your forward fold, relax the head. Inhale, coming all the way back up into your mountain, stretching those hands high, relax the shoulders. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again. Inhale, floating the hands up. Exhale, coming down into your forward fold, hinging at the waist. Inhale, coming down into that ball, squeezing tight and exhaling here. Inhale, come into your halfway lift. Exhale, come into your forward fold, heavy head. Inhale, bringing the torso up, hands reaching up to the sky. And exhale, bringing the hands back to heart center. Now let's go into our first sun salutation. Starting in our mountain pose, make room for your body and make sure that you are pushing down and out through those feet. Relax those shoulders and bring the hands to heart center. On the inhale, let's float those arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, come down into our forward fold. Inhale, coming into our halfway lift. Exhale, taking the right foot back and bringing the torso up for a high lunge. Exhale, sink through that front knee and engage that back leg straight and strong, pushing through that back heel. Float the hands up towards the ceiling. Just breathe here in our high lunge. Imagine that the front knee and the back knee are pushing towards each other to engage those legs and allow you to sink into that hip flexor a little bit more. Make sure the core is working here and the tail is tucked under to protect that lower back. From here, as we inhale, come into your one-legged mountain. Knee is either parallel to the floor or toe is hovering on the mat. Hands come down. Keep the gaze steady and engage the core to keep you steady in this balancing pose. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Begin to push the right heel back, coming into an airplane pose. You pick how far you want the torso to come forwards, but push into that back heel to engage the glute muscle to help your core out. Fix the gaze once more and breathe here steadily and calmly for 2 more breaths. Allow that back foot to drop towards the floor. Make sure the hips are square towards the front of the mat and your back foot is at 2 o'clock if it was on a clock face. Inhaling and taking the chest and the gaze up towards the ceiling, mini back bend. And exhale, keeping the torso nice and long, just folding over that front leg. You'll feel an intense stretch down the back of the legs here in our diamond pose. Just breathe here steadily and just go as far as feels good for you, making sure that you can keep the spine long. We're here for 1 more breath. Bring the hands down to the mat or onto blocks. We're going to slide that back leg down into a lunge now. Just release the top of the back foot into the mat and then begin to heel toe the left foot towards the edge of the mat so both of the hands are inside that left foot. You can be on your blocks here or on the mat. And let's just take a moment to sink into our runner's lunge. You can relax the head here, or you can keep the torso nice and long, whatever feels good for you. Now, leaving the left hand on the mat or the block, use the elbow against that left knee to hinge you into an open twist as you float the right hand up towards the ceiling. A nice chest expansion here. Just breathe into the pose, enjoying the openness. Bring that right hand back down to the mat or block. And then you can either move through box here into your downward dog or come straight into your downward dog here. Make sure you are pressing into all fingers and the base of the thumb. Feet are about hip distance apart. Hips are moving back and high. Chest is moving towards the thighs. And bend the knees as much as you need to have a nice straight spine. Just breathe here, shake the head out yes and no, drop some of that tension in the neck down to the floor. And bending the knees slightly and looking up towards the hands, just move the feet up to meet them. Coming into our halfway lift on the inhale, exhale coming into your forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way back up into our mountain. Hands all the way up towards the ceiling. And let's exhale and go right back down into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take that left foot now into our high lunge. Bring the torso up. Exhale, sinking into that front knee, pushing through that back heel, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing here, relaxing through the shoulders, making sure the core is strong and the tail is tucked. Legs are engaged. here for one more breath. And then on the inhale, let's bring that back leg either into our one-legged mountain or with the toe paused on the mat. Fix your gaze and steady that breath. We're here for 3, 2, 1. From here, begin to move that heel behind you, pushing into the back foot. Bring the hands to heart center and drop the torso as much as feels comfortable for you. Again, calm through the breath, looking at one fixed point. Just breathing here again for 3, 2, 1. Allow the back foot to come down to the mat. Hips are square to the front of the mat. The back foot is at 10 o'clock if it was on a clock face. Leaving the hands at heart center, inhale and come into your mini back bend. And then as you exhale, folding over that front leg, coming down as far as feels comfortable so you start to feel that tension down the backs of the legs. Try not to allow that tension to reach any other places of the body. So relax the face. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. And just staying here for one more breath. Bringing the hands down to the mat or your blocks and sliding the back leg into our lunge. Release the top of the back foot into the floor. And just begin to heel toe the right foot now towards the edge of the mat. Bring the hands inside onto your blocks on the mat and sink into your runner's lunge. Take the same variation you did on the other side. So if you allowed the head to relax down, do that now. Or if you kept the torso long, just stay there. Just enjoy the stretch through the hip flexor. Now leaving the right hand on the floor or block, begin to float the left hand up towards the ceiling, using that right elbow to hinge you into a lovely open chest twist. Just use the breath to relax into the pose. There should be no straining. Just breathe here for one more breath. And then bring the hand back down to the mat and either moving into your downward dog or coming into your box and then pushing up. Let the breath be steady here. Take any movement that feels good for you. Make sure you've got that yogi grip. And just allow the tension to fall down into the mat here. Looking up towards the hands, just walk the feet up to meet them and then take a seat on your mat. Allow yourself to come all the way down onto your back into your Shavasana. Take up some space and just absorb all that you have done today. Well done for taking some time for you, for turning up on your mat. It can often be the hardest part. Just allow yourself to have a few moments of peace and tranquility. Thank you for practicing with Roma Loves Yoga today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you a day of happiness. Namaste.